I want to bring in our guest, Dan Holcomb. Hello, sir.
Hey, thank you for having me on.
Now, you are Copper Country Republican Party. I'm going to put a map on the screen because even people here in Michigan may not know where you're at, but that little red dot on the screen is where you're at.
Yeah, I mean, it's God's country up here. I mean, it's just such a wonderful area. And actually, that's why I moved up here. I'm from Alabama originally, went to Michigan Tech, graduated, and I fell in love with the beauty of the Copper Country. And most importantly, I actually fell in love with the people up here.
Wow. So you are, let me zoom in a little bit. You're closer to probably Green Bay than Detroit, it would seem like.
Yeah, so every time we go back home to Alabama, it's always straight through Wisconsin. That's always faster. It's extra 4.5, 5 hours or 6 hours if you go, through Mackinac down through downstate. So yeah,
Wow.
Yeah,
so
it's all two-laners too. So there's no super highways.
I've never been to your town. Is this a picture of the bridge in your town?
That's the bridge. Yeah, that's the bridge we were at yesterday. Yeah.
Oops, sorry. I'll bring it up. Okay, let me take this off the screen right here. Tell me a little bit about your town. I grew up in Metro Detroit, a very big community. A lot of people didn't know each other. Now, does everyone know each other where you live? Is it kind of like a big family, kind of?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the main reason why I chose to live up here, because everybody treats each other. I mean, we take the shirt off our back just to help one another out, and and what really kind of draws them to here is just this history, this whole culture that exists up here, because not a lot of people know about this, but this was like the hub for natural copper for the longest time up until the 1960s. And right now the population in Houghton County is about 34,000, but if you go back to 1905, the population was 87,000. Now
really,
the automobile. Yeah, I mean, that was that significant. Also, if you look at the time zone goes way far west here, and the reason why is because they wanted the copper industry to be on the same time zone as the New York Stock Exchange.
I always wondered, why is there a different time zone? And everyone thinks Michigan is in the Eastern time zone. Almost all of it is, but there's a little bit that's not, right?
Yeah. The far west corner it's in Central time zone, but yeah, for the most part, it's kind of weird.
Wow. Okay. So your town made the news. When did this happen? Was it about a week ago?
A week from today, basically. So it's last Sunday, about 5:45.
Okay.
An individual was, attacked by, some young man that just didn't really agree with his politics. So I first heard about it actually by Monday, and it just kind of like, well, geez, what can we do? What can we, rally behind him and support? So I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday, I put a Facebook ad out there saying, we need to go out there and just show support for the guy.
So and also, just to summarize, people may not know, and this is the Detroit Free Press, and I give them credit. This is an accurate headline that they have, because some in the media,
right.
Some in the media left out the part about Trump supporter or political. I think the initial story I saw from Channel 6 and Marquette was vandalism. And I think it was much more than vandalism.
Yeah, it was a combination of the two. So that's, I was kind of disconnected there for a while because the family still wanted to be, just kind of, left alone for the situation, considering the gravity of the moment, because, no matter how you look at it, that 22-year-old man shouldn't have killed himself. I mean, there should be help out there for him. And my heart goes out to the family, no matter how much we disagree with each other politically. It's a human being, and we have to show compassion.
Yeah, and that's good to hear. And I want to recap real quick for those who don't know. It was last Sunday in 80. Is he 80 years old? Is that his age?
He's 80. Yep.
80-year-old man was doing what many of us in America do. We put our who we support in our candidates or school board, whatever. He was putting a sign on his property, and then the police say this 22-year-old literally drove into him on his ATV.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what we've read, and from talking to the people that actually lived in that street, that's pretty much what they confirmed. I mean, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, that's sad. So the Hancock Police Department, they put out, I know it was they had a picture of the ATV, I think like from surveillance camera or something.
Yeah, and it was, yeah.
Okay, so they put that out, and I'm going to just read from the article here. The police department said a man called Monday and said he would like to confess to a crime. And he instructed police to go to his home to pick him up. But when police got there, he died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. So, I mean, that's a sad situation all around because, I mean, we've lost someone, and this person obviously had, I would, some issues, just to be nice about it, I guess.
Yeah. And, I really actually blame the mainstream media for all this stuff, of all this nonsense they're putting on the TV. It's just complete, just brain garbage. I mean, they tell us that we're Nazis. They say Trump is an existential threat to democracy. And I mean, it's just pure projection. And these people, sometimes vulnerable people, take this information and they make decisions on their own. And unfortunately, I don't know if it's going to cool down over time because it's just hitting up, especially with Kamala getting this race.
And this man who, in this incident, 22 years old, that's the same age that I believe the man in Butler County, Pennsylvania, who shot the president, same age.
It's just pure propaganda, and it's just pure brain rot. I mean, what's going on in this country is basically they're just gaslighting these people. And I mean, I just wish there would be something where if somebody could put their foot down with the media organizations and say, hey, stop, do real journalism, stop gaslighting these poor people. And at the same time, it's like, we have to stand up. So we actually formed a rally yesterday for this individual, just to show him support. I mean, there's about 10 of us that showed up out there. Well, let me tell you what, it was just pure love. Everybody that drove by us, I mean, it was just thumbs up. People were actually I could just see the excitement in their face when they saw us, because it's been quite a while since we did anything like that, especially for President Trump.
Yeah, and so you got mostly support, thumbs up, honking their horn.
Yeah, but actually, I hate to say this, but my favorite kind are the ones that kind of, give you the bird, because it's like lives a TikTok in real time. I mean,
yeah. But they may not have understood why you were there. You weren't there just to support Trump. You were there also to kind of show support for the 80-year-old, the elderly man.
Not only we're showing support for the man, but we're showing support for the community, saying that it's okay to wear your MAGA hat to the grocery store. It's okay to put that sign in your front yard. It's okay to actually have a political difference with your neighbor. You don't have to go to extremes about it. Have a civil debate. And I just really think that's something that nobody really does anymore. They don't engage anybody in debate. They just scream and yell at each other and walk away. And the problem keeps festering. I just wish people just grow up and actually have a little bit of courage and just say, you know what? Where's your point of view on this? Where do you stand? But instead, people just take these empty talking points and they just project it at you and walk away. It's not really a fair fight.
And I'm going to say something, and you may or may not agree, but it happens on both sides because I don't share this often, but I've had death threats from both sides of the aisle. And I think it's like you said, it's a mental illness. But especially it has happened, obviously, with the media, vilifying Trump and so forth. But if anyone is mental issues, it happens on all sides. I mean, you can admit that, right? Probably.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's just the way it is. That's just the lay of the land. I mean, I knew what I was getting into when I was becoming chair. So, I mean, the crazies come on both sides. And, just being chair of the county, you just have to keep a level head and just, call balls and strikes.
But your point is, because I know some people say, well, Trump's inciting this, but your point is, and I see it all the time, I watch MSNBC, by calling him all these names and saying, and Biden, put him in the bullseye. Biden didn't mean put him in the bullseye, but for someone who is unhinged and mentally unstable, that's exactly what they could mean for them. So you're saying that the media, politicians, they just need to just calm it down a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, just dial it back. But I mean, I hate to say it's wishful thinking. And the only thing we can really do right now is actually call your representatives and ask them what they're going to be doing about this, especially when it comes to mental health. There's a big mental health crisis up here because right now we have one mental health facility here in Houghton County, but there's other special hospitals that are located downstate. And from conversations I've been having from individuals, I mean, these people are separated from their families by 8 to 9 hours. There are virtually no mental health facilities in the Upper Peninsula. And that's kind of going back to that 22-year-old. I mean, if there were more opportunities, more facilities, and maybe if somebody gave them the right outreach, we wouldn't be talking about this right now.
And that's something I may want to talk to you about again in the future, because since I left the mainstream media, my focus has been on big on mental health, because the state of Michigan has failed so many people um, with mental health. And I've done so many stories, and you're right. I mean, so if you had to drive to Ann Arbor, Michigan for a facility, you would have what? How far of a drive? 9 hours?
At least in the wintertime, add 2 more to it.
Okay, so there is no way that you can seek proper treatment. I mean, many people, yeah, it's just a major issue, the mental health issue, and it's being ignored. And that's why a lot of people, rightfully so, say we're giving all this money to Ukraine, we're giving all this money here and there, but there's still a lot of issues going on in this country. We need
support. I mean, you talk about a good point about tax dollars. Apparently, we've been taking cops off the beat and taking some of these patients down to downstate Michigan to their facilities where they needed to go to. So, I mean, it's just not I mean, if you really look at how our tax money is being spent, I mean, we're being screwed up here. We're 3% of the population of Michigan, but I mean, it seems like we export more of our tax money than anything else. We have the highest energy rates almost in the country. And on top of that, we have these, from a state rep told me, they're saying that the Upper Peninsula is the Saudi Arabia for the Green New Deal. Because I mean, and just the other year, we had this company called Circle Power coming up here wanting to put these gargantuous wind turbines like within a quarter mile of the nearest residential home.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. And honestly, I just think we just need to bring more awareness to, the people up here. And there's been times where, generations been saying that Upper Peninsula should become its own state.
What's your take on that?
I mean, hey, I think it's a great strategy because we need more attention. We need, especially when it comes to mental health facilities and figuring out what we could do about our high energy bills. So it just needs to be talked to, because I mean, I think the likelihood of us becoming a state would, it's pretty low, but I think it's definitely worth the conversation having with our political representatives.
Yeah. And the politician, the governor and others, they go up to Mackinac Island and they'll enjoy there, but they don't
go any further than that. See, actually, as county chair, that's how I gauge real candidates. Over the 4 years I've been doing this, anybody that comes way over here to Houghton County, I mean, we know you're serious, and we take note of that. So, I mean, it's been pretty accurate. So, yeah.
Someone just commented on my live. They used to go to school, lived in Trout Lake. Is that near there?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So people do know. A question someone had. So the 80-year-old man who was injured, he did not die. He's recovering, correct?
He's at home.
Okay. Have you talked to him at all?
No, he's still keeping his information private. And I've been in constant contact with our sheriff. And if I'm going to make any comments about it, it's definitely going to be through him, because I want to respect his privacy.
Yeah, and that is just really sad, though, because 80 years old, he's been through so many presidents, so many things, and he was probably just showing his support, and it's really just sad. And like you said, I looked at a lot of the comments online. Many people were saying, "Oh, that he's the kid who did it. Oh, they're bad mouthing him." But the first thing you said when we came on here is that you feel sorry for him and his family too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a waste of opportunity. It's their youth, it's their future. It's really easy to take political jabs at each other, but in this situation, you just have to look at the core problems of it. And basically what it boils down to is this kid might needed some kind of help, any kind of help. And that's another thing. I mean, if you know somebody that has any issues, that they're struggling with something, be a friend. Go up to them, ask them if they need any help, and kind of help them out. Maybe just a simple discussion with them might keep them from jumping off a ledge.
And your point is, in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, even if you should try to get professional help, it's not easy.
That's what I've been hearing. And I've known a few people that it's a tough thing, especially when you have like a juvenile that's struggling with this stuff, and they're separated from their mother by 8.5 hours. I mean, it's not easy, because you're not right there. And I really think family should be part of the cure for mental health, because you can't keep family and the individual separated and expect a perfect outcome. It's not going to happen. They need each other.
Does this show, and it does to me, I'm in Saginaw County, Michigan, well, bigger than your area, but still not
Yeah.
like in New York. But political violence, this sort of thing can happen anywhere. It doesn't matter, I guess, small, big, white, black, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, and it's just a powder keg waiting to happen. And I don't know if this is just kind of a precursor to what's going to come, but we all need to stand. We all need to stand tall, and we need to actually talk to our elected representatives, ask them what they're going to be doing for mental health, especially if you're in the first congressional district of Michigan. Give Jack Bergman a call, ask him what he has planned for.
Yeah, I have talked to him before. They actually wanted me to run for Congress, and I said no. Yeah, so Butler County, Pennsylvania. I worked in Pittsburgh as well. That's a very small area. I mean, it's bigger, but it's north of Pittsburgh, about an hour and a half. Not something I was shocked when that happened. What was your reaction? I knew people, and actually myself had a little trouble sleeping. Were you? I see you're wearing the hat. Have you been to a rally at all when Trump was ever there?
Well, no, I was actually a presidential delegate for the first congressional district. So I was at the RNC convention the other week. So that was my Trump rally right there.
Oh, wow. You were there in Milwaukee.
Yep. Yes, sir.
What was that like when, well, Kid Rock, I'm a Kid Rock fan. That had to be cool.
Yeah,
but what was it like in there when Trump came out? And especially, I don't think anyone knew he was going to have the firefighting gear out on the stage. That had to be emotional.
Yeah, actually, it was the first night. It was the Monday night when we were going through our roles and, state by state territory, throwing our points behind Trump. It was, and then after that, there were some speakers up there, but we were all just kind of chit chatting. Like, we don't care, because usually the first night they don't put like any heavy headline speakers up there.
Yeah.
So like, where's Vance? Because we were looking at our phones and got out Vance was on there. Everybody's scribbling Vance on their signs and everything. And they're like, oh, and then I see the pool lining up over there by this tunnel that was directly behind me. And I got on my chair and I had this perfect shot right at him. Like, I was just looking, and then here he comes. He was just halfway between the hallway and the corridor going out to the arena. And he sat there for like maybe a minute and a half. And then when he came out, everybody, it was just this electric shock through the atmosphere. It's unexplainable because it was so special because we've all witnessed divine intervention back on the 13th. And when he was coming out there and seeing that bandage on there, we were just out there, I believe our first chant was fight, 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 fight. So it was electric. And then the final night on Thursday night, now that was the show of all shows. Have Hulk Hogan come out there, have Tucker Carlson, just everybody, and Kid Rock, and then Dana White. Geez. Yep. It was funny because from the first night to the fourth night, well, I was keeping an eye on the upper deck, and it was slowly getting filled up from day to day to day. Then on the fourth night, it was just packed. You couldn't even move. I was shoving like NBC news camera guys out of the way to go to the bathroom. It was that crazy.
Wow. So wrapping this up with you, and I appreciate your time. No matter Absolutely. You're Democrat, Republican, Independent, violence, never the answer. This individual who committed this crime in your community and the one in Butler County, obviously, the investigation's still going on to him, and who knows, whatever, but it's sad. You're saying, and I see this a lot online and social media doesn't help, but if you just sit down and talk, even if it's someone you don't agree with, just have a discussion, right?
Exactly. That's the only way out of this. It's just talking amongst ourselves and turning off the TV and turning off the radio. That's all it boils down to.
Wow. And your advice, and you're saying it even if it's someone on either political aisle, because people can I've known people that can just sit on their computer all day and comment and argue with people. Yeah. That's not a good thing, probably.
No, that is not a good thing, especially because it's like talking smack behind somebody's back. I guarantee you, if they were one-on-one talking to each other, they wouldn't say half the things they were putting out on the internet. So I don't know. I guess there's hopefully going to be a time and place in the future where we all can rally around the town square and just have a civil debate.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate it. And how's the town? What's people are talking? Because you got a lot of attention. Your town, and it's probably for the
Well,
wrong
I mean,
reason. For the wrong
actually,
reason.
the tension went away. You know, it went away pretty fast. Ever since that young man, killed himself. I mean, it just. I think from there it just died. You know, like because I was getting so like people calling me all of a sudden, and then all of a sudden it's like boom, nothing. And then the only thing I really had was to look forward to was going to our little rally this past Saturday, and I think it did a lot of good because it really, I mean, it was so worth seeing the enjoyment out of the people. I mean, it almost felt like there was like, where are we? Where are you? And we finally showed up. And then
La,
on
la,
top of that, we're having a Trump train up here in Houghton, Michigan. We're going to be going from Chassell, Michigan, all the way up to Calumet.
oh
So,
wow.
yeah. So look out on the web for pictures for that because usually those things, hundreds of people turn out.
Okay. Last thing. What would you say to people who are maybe afraid to put on the hat that you have or to express how they feel? I interviewed a woman in Chicago and she put on her Trump hat and she got yelled at, but what's your take on people? It's, you shouldn't be afraid. Is that it?
No, I mean we're the land of the free and the home of the brave, and sometimes you just have to get outside your comfort zone and put that MAGA hat on, and just forget about what everybody says about you because you know what, you're going to have more love than you are going to have more hate when you wear your MAGA hat. And you know what, right now we need a little bit of courage, and that's the only thing we were trying to do yesterday was just kind of show people like we don't care. This is America. We have our rights to do this. We're not going to be bullied.
Yeah.
So if there's any time to stand up, now's the time to stand.
And I would hope also if I see someone, and I do, walking down the street with a Biden hat or a Democrat shirt, I'm like, okay, that's your choice too.
Yeah, I'll just probably laugh and just I wouldn't care. We don't stoop to that level. That's what I was telling people at the the rally yesterday. Is like somebody flips you off, just sit there like wave and smile at them. I mean that does way more damage than it does flipping them back off.
Exactly. Okay, well, I appreciate it. Hopefully, more of America can be like you, no matter how they think. Just take a deep breath and be calm, because the next 100 days are going to be very intense. I have a feeling.
You have no idea. I have no idea.
Hopefully,
An open mind.
hopefully the craziness is behind us. I hope. I pray. Okay, I'll let you go. Thank you so much up there. Be safe.
Thank you for having me. God bless.
Okay, bye.